Bowls Australia acknowledges the traditional owners and custodians of the land in which this stream is produced. We pay our respects to all First Nations people and acknowledge elders past and present.
Day 2 of the 2023 World Bowls Championships, and we are at Club Helensvale for women's singles action. It is Ellen Ryan, the Commonwealth Games champion for 2022, against Kumari Mangos of Sri Lanka, who topped Section 1 after Day 1 yesterday. Val Febo here with you on Rinkside Live, and joining me as he did yesterday and will do throughout this wonderful fortnight that we have on the Gold Coast is Barry Lester. Baz, thanks for joining me again, mate. Great to have your company here on a sunny Helensvale.
Yeah, good morning, and good morning to everyone out there tuning in. Great numbers yesterday and great bowling exponents of the game out there yesterday. Some great games, and I really, really love the fact that we could finish off with all our viewers yesterday on a high, showcasing that amazing game between Australia and Canada. And we've got Ellen Flash Ryan up again this morning in her singles event. Let's see what she can do against another local Australian, but playing for another country. Let's fill us in, Val.
Yeah, so Kumari Mangos lives down in Melbourne, in Victoria. She's a youth response and mobilisation worker down there, and this is her maiden World Bowls Championship. She's enjoyed a pretty good start. She had a bye first up yesterday morning, but then her first match of the campaign was a win over Delphine Almond of the Falkland Islands. 21-2, Baz, before defeating Marisa Baronda of the Philippines 21-7. So she's first in her section, or Section 1, which is what we're broadcasting this morning at plus 33. Ellen Ryan on her debut here. She also played Delphine Almond, won that 21-4 in Session 1 yesterday before defeating Orawan Sodok of Thailand 21-14. She sits fourth on plus 24. So the group standings, we'll go through those quickly before we end the roll-up ends here. We've got another 2 minutes. So Kumari on top, Jane Rigby of Zimbabwe in second, also undefeated. Sarah Trotter of Cyprus, she's 3 wins, so she was one of the only ones to have played 3 matches yesterday in this top 4. So 3 wins, 0 losses, plus 32. Ellen Ryan in fourth, plus 24. Ineke Spangenberg of the Netherlands in fifth. Marisa Baronda of the Philippines, 6th. Lefai Maria Modutiwa of Botswana.
You're going great,
in 7th. Lucila Basuli from Argentina in 8th. Orawan Sodok in 9th. Delphine Almond 10th. And Debbie Colhoun of Spain in 11th. So that's how it all stands. And I do apologise to Lefai from Botswana. That was not my finest moment there.
No, you've done well, mate. Yeah, it's a gorgeous morning here at Helensvale. Club Helensvale, brand new facility in the background, brand new Max canopy roof, and this club here has been one of the biggest and most successful clubs in the bowling circuit for many years now, and they just go from strength to strength, and that is no exception in that facility in the background. But gorgeous morning, as you can see, all the flags there in the background. They'll no doubt move around. They'll probably move to the left side of your screen. That southeaster, it's not going away at the moment, but let's hope it does stay down. And green speeds are hovering around that 14.5 to 14.75 mark. So free running greens, and we actually had a fairly heavy dew this morning. So that surface dew's left us now, just speaking to the greenkeepers. And after preparing the greens, they are ready to go and playing in the east-west direction. So the sun's up quite high up here in Queensland of a morning. The sun's up sort of 6:15, so they can get away with playing east and west this time of day.
So it's Kumari to get us underway. She's blue, Ellen is red. Both using the Dreamline XGs of Henselite.
Yeah, Kumari, first delivery, it's on the south side, so the clubhouse side, for those that aren't familiar with Club Helensvale, just to give you a bit of a feel for the venue. So both players playing the south side in the west direction. Jack length around about 26 metres. So a nice kind length probably a length that most players would go out and practice. But you'll see tactically over the next fortnight of bowls that you'll be watching in this competition, there will be moments where players just move the mat around and try different jack lengths to either find a new hot spot for themselves or to find a cold spot for their opposition.
So, in this morning, we have a 2 hour, 15-minute time limit. Of course, it's 21 up. We are very, very familiar with this format and how it works. First to 21. Just got to get there. No ticking down the scoreboard.
A great array of colours across the green. I'm loving the new synthetic surroundings on the banks here.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. It's changed a lot from when we were here during the Australian Open, Baz.
Yeah, it really has. So your surrounds are very weather dependent, you know, to try and maintain a nice sort of nature strip of grass there around your greens. And yeah, many clubs either go down the rubber, concrete or synthetic path, and yeah, it just looks really smart. It's a really smart finish around the surface. And Nathan Rice and Lukey and the rest of the gang there do an amazing job here. So as we see, Alan Ryan, third delivery on the backhand. Got about a metre of room to count here. Just want to try and get it done now instead of leaving it to a last bowl.
And I believe, has she done enough, or has she moved that jack closer to Kumari's?
It's a Kumari there. Bit of a target, 3 or 4 bowls wide. Just can afford to arrive. Just give the bowl a chance. Try and dislodge that last bowl of Allen's or trail the jack through. As you can see, already a nice finish on this bowl. It's coming in nicely. It's going to make it.
Just going to go underneath.
Not quite.
Thought it might have promoted Allen's a little bit. Let's see if Allen can make that correction. Had the pleasure of being in Birmingham with yourself last year, Baz, and sitting ringside for what Allen was able to achieve in the first male or female bowler to win the singles and pairs at the same Commonwealth Games. And it's shots like that allowed her to do so.
Yeah, it's a really tight start from both players. Only the one bowl off the course. All 7 deliveries, really good weight. So that's a sign of things to come, I believe. You know, when you're seeing 7 out of 8 bowls within a couple of feet, we're in for a good morning and a good day. How good is the World Championships? When you look around, you see the Philippines, Botswana, Argentina.
Got Spain in front of us.
And, yeah, as I said yesterday, if you know anyone that has maybe a cultural background in any of those countries that aren't playing any sports in Australia, maybe they're not familiar with lawn bowls, and you're a bowler, take them down to the club with you. We know, historically across Australia, we've had some successful players like Rob Perella with an Italian heritage, and represent Australia with high distinction, and they're out there.
They are.
And what better country to exploit that than Australia? Love meeting people. I know we're at my former club a few years back when I played in Victoria, used to have an International Bowls Day at the Mulgrave Country Club. It was a fantastic day, and everyone would come along with their heritage shirts, with whatever country they were born or whatever their background was, and it was just a great day out, and everyone come along and showcased where they were from. So that's what it's all about. It's another facet of this game. The people you meet, the stories they can tell about where they've come from and how they got involved in bowls.
Think about we're talking about where people are from. Steve Byrne watching from Dunedin in New Zealand.
Oh, what a gorgeous spot that is. Can't wait to go back one day.
Jay watching from Suffolk in England. Robert from Motherwell in Scotland. And Anton watching from Whitsand, South Africa. The TV's also on the US Open tennis, and I absolutely love that. For those who know, I absolutely adore the sport of tennis, and I think that they could have postponed the US Open to allow me to watch that after the World Championships. They haven't done so, but following on with great interest, and hopefully
stuck with me instead, mate.
I won out, really, didn't I?
So Kumari just missing her line, really good weight, so she gain a bit of confidence out of that. Just getting the right feel, putting a number on it too also helps. So Kumari, say it's 26, 27 metres. I've hit the weight with that as Alan comes in for another one. Beautiful bowl. So as much as that's a good bowl, Alan will be a little bit worried that that's sitting in a jack high position, but Kumari's got to play the similar weight, give it a chance.
So Martin Bock asking, where can I see the vision impaired pairs game against South Africa? That is a battle of the heavyweights there. Both of those two undefeated after yesterday. You can watch that on our other stream, which is also on our Facebook page. We've got a couple of streams going this morning, so big thank you to the other guys that are helping us out, the Gold Coast Tweed District group. There's Alan Ryan starting to put a bit of a stranglehold on this, Baz.
Yeah, it's one of those ones here for Alan Ryan. I know she'd be happy to be holding two. Well, I'm confident it's two, but it's just trying to change that angle up as it sits at the moment. Kumari's got to make a minor correction to get the shot, whereas you want to make it harder for the opposition at all times if you can. So I think Alan will be just trying to shift that bowl in behind the jack or trail the jack herself. She's chasing after it. All right, well, plan B, get in the way. Has she closed it up? Well, I think so.
And she might have, and our marker indicating that it is a 3 to Alan Ryan. So a lot of work here to come for Kumari Mangos.
Yeah, I think she'll be arriving here, trying to work under the front bowl.
She looks under.
Yeah, she's going to slide away. Good intent.
Yep, and the weight was good. It would have affected things had it hit, but that is a good start to the morning from Alan Ryan, who makes her move early. And that is a 3. She moves to a 4-0 buffer after 2 ends here at Club Helensvale. And Baz, it's an interesting group because there's so many singles players. We've got a record number of contestants here at the World Bowls Championships. You have to play 10 games before you can even think about the knockout stages. And it's not easy, is it? Would you say that winning a World Championship singles is harder than winning Commonwealth Games, or have they both got their nuances?
Yeah, I think for me, it's probably the two major factors in how it feels and what the prestige is in winning a tournament. One is your opposition. So, it'd be difficult, I'm sure, for, like you're just talking about tennis, for a Djokovic to stand there holding the trophy, knowing that if, let's say, a Nadal, a Federer, and a Murray, and these guys,
Alcaraz now,
were all injured and were just couldn't make the event. So there's a feeling there. Obviously, you're very proud and happy to win the event, but if the best of the best aren't there, there's always a bit of a feeling of what could have been. But you can only beat who's in front of you also. And also then the conditions. So for me, the Australian Open is the hardest event in the world to win.
Yep.
So you're combating multiple disciplines over multiple venues in multiple conditions. So, you're fighting all the elements at different venues. It's not like you're in the same rink, the same venue day in, day out. You've got to go from Robina to Beanley to Coolangatta to Broadbeach to Paradise, all these clubs playing different surfaces, different conditions. So that is what they say, the war of attrition. So for me, the Australian Open is definitely the hardest event to win in the world. But when it comes back to your question, when it comes to the Commonwealth Games and the World Championships, there's probably that line of prestige for the actual individual where they feel it sits. Commonwealth Games, very heavily marketed, cross-sport promotion, cross-sport event. And then this one, World Championship, well, it's similar to swimming. It's sort of the pinnacle of the particular sport. And as you said, record numbers, 44 countries, it doesn't get much bigger than that. So I think it probably comes back to the individual and where they feel it sits at from a training and a preparation perspective.
Fair enough. Now, Kumari has managed to get her weight right here and wrestle shot back off Alan Ryan halfway through this end.
Yeah, it's good though. Okay, both players haven't nailed the jack, but it's good that they've at least given it a chance. Just get a feel for the full weight.
And Alan Ryan has gone in closer yet again. She was up 2 before. Kumari took things away from her. Really good to see. As you said before, Baz, the colours around. We've got Rebecca Colhoun of Spain in front of us.
Yeah, I think for me, that's what I really love, just seeing those colours proudly displayed on uniforms.
Yep. And I'm going to give it another go. We've also got a few rinks over. Lefa Maria Modutiwa of Botswana.
Well done. That was spot on.
I pride myself on my pronunciation, and I do not like getting it wrong, so I like to do the names justice, and so it's great to see all these nations here as Ellen Ryan comes around. Will she stop in time? She wants it to.
Yeah, just sliding past. So no change up, which she was looking to do. But it's that pressure you spoke about, Val, just putting them in there.
Such a good test for Kumari this morning as well. She had a good day yesterday, but when you go from Delphine Armand and Marissa Baronda to Alan Ryan, there is a big jump. And no disrespect to them, but Alan Ryan is a different kettle of fish.
Yeah, and there's the other things are stacked up as well. Alan Ryan would have played dozens of times on this particular green in various events over the years.
It's been streamed on this green before.
That's right. So the familiarity of what the surface is doing, the conditions, just knowing that what the wind may do. Already you can see the flags just getting up a little bit more than when it started. So all those things and just being familiar. And it is something you hear from high-level athletes in a lot of sports. There's some places they just feel more comfortable at, some venues. And I'm sure a lot of the Aussies are making the most of this home ground advantage.
100%. Alan Ryan scores a 1 there, so moves to a 5-0 advantage after 3 ends here this morning at Club Helensvale. Karen Murphy sitting behind the rink and coaching Alan. What a player to have behind you. Still the reigning singles champion, so from 2012 and 2016, hoping to impart her wisdom on what could be the 2023 champion. It would be quite remarkable to see someone just take the mantle and continue to hold up the baton.
Yeah, fellow clubmates, teammates at Cabramatta.
Kaz still playing pretty well herself. Should be playing the World Champion of Champions after this tournament.
Well, Kaz will never not play well because Kaz is she's a finely tuned athlete. You know, Kaz approaches it from that point of view. She knows the amount of effort and time and training, the preparation that goes into events. She's obviously done that for 600 plus times for Australia, and when you know how to get the absolute best out of yourself, not leave anything to chance, every time you front up to an event, whether you're playing for Australia or not, or current international level or not, Kaz will always be able to bring her best game because she knows what it takes to get the best out of yourself, and that is the key. How do you push yourself to the limits to get yourself to the level that you want to be at?
Ellen just going past with her second there, still holding 1. The beauty that I think, or that I saw about Ellen at the Com Games last year, Baz, was the fact that she was able to put adversity behind her and deal with that so well. And mentally, she's very strong on the green. And we saw there are a couple of matches there. And the final against Lucy Beer, I think, was one of them, as well as the semi-final against Shea Wilson. She was behind early in Birmingham in both of those contests, but came back and won with gusto. And then you've got the final against England in the pairs with Chrissy. Massive adversity. They were down, I think it was 11-3 or 11-2, something like that. They got out to a 16-12 lead with a 4, dropped to 4 the very next end, and still won it. You know, they dealt with that adversity well, and, you know, even if she doesn't start well, you know that she's never out of it.
Yeah, and I think it might have been day one. She lost her second game, I think, to Lucy, was it?
It was to Lucy.
And just even coming back from that, just, her first Commonwealth Games, playing singles. It's probably a story I can't repeat on here, but Alan and I bumped into each other on the first morning before she was about to play her first game in the Commonwealth Games. And
was that just on the bus or?
No, just in the village.
Yeah.
I was just out getting some toast and in the actual players' village, not the athlete village where we have breakfast with the other athletes, just the Australian village. And yeah, we had a bit of a chat, and there's a lot of emotion involved, and it was just great to experience what she was going through. You know, the first morning of competition, her first game for Australia in the Commonwealth Games, and it's I guess I probably haven't got her permission to talk about what we spoke about, but I'd love to be able to tell the story one day. And
one day.
It was just a really great experience for me and for her, and then just to see what she went on to do was I had a small as a fellow athlete and a teammate, but I had a small part in knowing how she felt and how she was setting up for her first morning. So
it's pretty special what she was able to go on and do, and obviously it is well documented, and if she does win this tournament here, she'll become just the third player in history behind David Bryant and Margaret Johnston to win the Commonwealth Games and World Bowls Championship singles titles, the blue ribbon events, as they are called.
Yeah, and as it sits at the moment, score 5-0, holding a good 2. Kumari has got a little bit of a shot on, but going to need jack movement, I believe. She's going to have to get half jack and stay.
Will she sit Alan Ryan's bowl here, Kumari Mangos, or will she go through the gap?
And great effort.
It was a good effort, but that's going to be another 2 to Alan Ryan.
And of course, Val, she's my Pulse teammate.
She certainly is. Now, you two, I think you became, just the third BPL franchise in history behind the Lions and the Ospreys to go back-to-back, you, Gary Kelly, and Alan Ryan, and it was pretty impressive. You guys owned Club Pine Rivers last year, and talk to us about, you'd been playing the BPL since pretty much its inception.
Yeah.
To finally win one, Baz, that would have been really special.
Yeah, I still remember when the first BPL was on TV. I remember I was in the gym. It would have been a good 10 years ago when it first came on. I missed the first couple of seasons, and I was just like, wow, it's finally arrived. When I worked at Bowls Australia, I worked heavily with some of the marketing team and commercial op team to see what the BPL would look like. And I remember Des Ryan walking into my office one day, and he said, Barry, what do you think some of the things we need to do for the BPL? And I said, well, you got to not kick bowls and roll a jack. First of all, it's too much downtime.
Speaking of jacks, Alan Ryan's right on it.
And so we came up with a theory to spot the jacks. Cuts out a lot of downtime for TV, and it looks great, and it's such a great format. And I wouldn't say it's the only event, but there's definitely half a dozen events in my career I've played in where I'm just like, wow, you sort of pinch yourself, what a privilege to play in it, and you can't wait for the event to come around. I'm already frothing over November at Pine Rivers.
Yeah, very exciting.
Can't wait. So.
And Pine River's the spiritual home. We see the fans,
Definitely.
the fans that rock up on, especially the third night on the Thursday to watch the Pirates. It's great to watch, and I think last year, seeing what you guys did and seeing Joe Edwards absolutely put on a show on that Thursday night, it was absolutely sensational. And you guys were the tie-break kings almost, just winning absolutely every tie-break you played.
Front touch, if you don't mind. Back-to-back touches, Alan Ryan. That delivery then, side on, was as smooth as it gets, but the rhythm in that technique. So that's the first one I really studied, and it just came out perfect for Alan, and she gets a front toucher. So
she's absolutely flying at the moment. They call West Coast Eagles superstar Liam Ryan Flying Ryan, but I reckon Alan might be challenging him. And of course, Baz, November marks 10 years of the BPL. Back in 2013 was APL 01, and now we are going to be at BPL 18.
Yeah, 18. Very exciting time for the sport. Lots of bowls on TV at the moment. So good to see. So Alan's holding really good 2 shots here, but doesn't have any back bowls. See if she just extends a bit more on this one and gets it through the back, or just try and crowd the head and get another one in there.
So Alan really starting to tighten the screws here. Kumari is going to have to try and get one in the area, because the way that Alan has started this, she's commenced like lightning and wants to be off the green pretty quick, it seems, because she's raced out to a 7-0 lead after 4. And Kumari obviously wants to keep her record alive. She hasn't lost yet, and her shot difference is pretty healthy. And shot difference could be the difference between seeing her go through to the next round and the quarterfinals, or seeing her go out in the sectional rounds. Obviously, 11 players in Section 1. It is very difficult to get out of your group, and if you do, it's very impressive in itself, let alone going on to win the tournament.
Yeah, both players here, it's at that stage of the game where you've still got to... Alan can't get complacent, and Kumari can't think about the end result. It's just still a grind, bowl by bowl. And Alan...
Chance to put a 4th in here.
Yeah, she's got to be just conscious that Kumari might play something with some weight, so being 2 or 3 down at the back. So Alan, I believe, will just take her medicine here, slide in behind under the number. She just needs to slow up now.
Has it slowed? No, that's gone into the ditch. So the green's running at 14 seconds here on green 1 this morning. Green 3 running at 14.75 to be absolutely exact to the decimal point, Baz. But
yeah, the ITOs are out there this morning.
The trying to roll and see how close or how that long it would take them to get to Jack High. And Lockie Williams, who's controlling our pictures here, was saying that, geez, it might take me and you a long time, Val.
So 3 shots, Alan Ryan.
So she's hit double figures first here, Alan Ryan, without the drop of an end. It's taken her 5 to get to 10, averaging 2 so far per end. And the Commonwealth champion, the 2-time Commonwealth champion, playing sensational bowls. Equalled the record last year. We've got a lot of bowlers on 2 Commonwealth Games gold medals. And she equalled the record in just 2 events, did Alan Ryan.
So just focusing on rhythm here at the moment. Alan's obviously very happy with the way score looks, but the smallest thing can deter your performance or break up your rhythm, and that can be just literally a few metres of a jack length. And you interview most players, if they can just play one length all day long and get into a rhythm, they will, and that's what Alan's doing. Rolling the jack, that 26, 27 metre length, just sliding past about 3 feet there, but she obviously feels very comfortable on that length and is focused on rolling the jack at the same length. So it's sort of frustrating at times when you see people just chuck the mat down and throw the jack. The jack length is just as important as where you want your bowl to finish, and you find that sweet spot. That when I say the sweet spot, where you feel comfortable with your rhythm and your timing, and if that means moving the mat up and down the green or finding a spot for the jack, it's big in your training to really do that. And Ellen is focusing heavily on that. She knows she can just keep playing that same length, keep piling them in there. And look at this correction. She's so confident on the length.
She knows exactly what she needs to be doing. She's right on top of the jack, and that is a resting touch-up. She is in the zone this morning. The only bye in round 4 in this section, Lucila Basili of Argentina. The Argentinians have provided some great excitement already throughout the World Bowls Championships, and just randomly swamping World Bowls CEO Neil Dalrymple, screaming, "Merci, merci."
It's a magic shot from Kumari. That's a brilliant shot.
That is sensational.
Yeah,
She's wrestled shot back too. Nice little confidence boost there for the Sri Lankan.
Yeah, Kumari be really hoping to hold this, but it does set well for Alan Ryan here. Forehand. See Alan there, nice bend of the knees, bend of the arm. See some common characteristics with a lot of the Australian players, the way they set up. Nice extension. She's just looking to sit this shot bowl or work off and get the jack. Just going to pull up.
Yep. Not bad weight. She was close. She's got bowls in the area now because there's that ability for her to possibly even sit that Kumari Mangos shot bowl with her last if Kumari doesn't.
Yeah,
put another one in.
Kumari can afford just to try and change this up. One roll of the blue or working off it herself. Just going to finish high. Not the worst home. Yeah, any jack movement favours her.
Well, it certainly does now. Look at where her 2 blue bowls are. Those blue XGs. Great to see her on tournament debut. She's been representing Sri Lanka for around about a decade. I was speaking to one of the Sri Lankan high performance team members before the match this morning, and it's great to see so many new faces at the World Championships. Obviously 7 years in between this one and the last in Christchurch 2015.
Alan Ryan with weight, looking for the shot bowl of Kumari, looking to sit it out of the head, missing high. So Kumari's on the board now. This is nearly her hardest shot for the day, Kumari. She's thinking, I've got one.
Yep. Is she going to be playing a safe line here?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've got one. Now I don't want to be giving this away.
Make sure. Just wrong bias at Kumari.
And I'm sure just with her, with what she's thinking now, she'll be still confident to get another one in there, but just super conscious of not giving it away. Maybe play, a soft draw, some would say, but also... boost her confidence if she can. Just flop in off her own shot bowl for 2.
Well, exactly.
And then we will no doubt see probably something extreme, something short or long from a mat length point of view.
She's not
bad.
very
right
far
on track.
away here. Just pulled up short. The line was pretty good. But Kumari Mangos, she is on the board. And for the first time in this contest, our marker raises the blue paddle. So that is a massive relief. It's always nice when you get on the board, especially against the home nation and one of the red-hot favourites for this title. The other women's singles sections so far in Section 2, it's Catherine Rednall and Gloria Ha, as well as Emma McIntyre in Section 2. They're the undefeated contingent there, all vying for their spot in the second round or in the quarterfinals. Also in that group, Melanie Thomas from Wales. She's sitting in 6th at the moment. Section 3 is a pretty stacked section as well. Kelly McCarahan, semi-finalist at the Australian Open, lost that semi-final here to Cass Millerick. And Loselini Decoya from Fiji in second as well. 3 wins, 0 losses. Colleen Piketh from South Africa, Commonwealth champion. 2 wins and a loss. And Shay Wilson of the Norfolk Island in 4th on 2 wins and a loss. And in Section 4, this one is a stacked group. Anne Nunes of the USA, semi-finalist at the World Champ of Champs, as Ellen Ryan and Kumari Mangos go pretty close to the jack here, Baz.
Yeah, and just an observation so far, Ellen Ryan, I think there's 3 or 4 touches in this direction on her backhand. So Kumari's job now is to try and shut that down. As much as she wants to get close and win the ends, but your first priority when your opposition's playing well is to take away their strengths. Ellen Ryan right now has this backhand on a string. She's nosing the jack. Now she's probably going to be forced to play the forehand turnover and turn her own bowl up, but it's one thing if your opposition is playing good and you're just scratching around, the first thing you can try and do is just try and stop them and by getting in their way. So Ellen Ryan sticking to the backhand, she's probably just looking for a bit of a split here or turn her own bowl up, knowing the hand well. Just going to...
Just a fraction underneath. The weight was perfect.
Kumari has to reach with this one now. Ellen Ryan's on the lookout. She's playing weight. It's an attacking style head for Ellen. She can afford to turn the bowl up or get to the split. And there's no real drama in Kumari trying to do the same.
See what Kumari has got. After this bowl concludes its run, we'll go through Section 4 of the women's singles and how that all stands. So, sort of rocked in off her own and put her own onto the line.
That's the confidence Ellen Ryan has on this hand.
Straight back on it now.
Yeah. Only bad result is turning the blue up onto the jack fat, but she's just trying to get down into that split. Now that she has another bowl there, it creates another option for a different weight. I think Kumari's first job here is to get behind because Ellen's on the charge.
So Anne Nunes of the USA, she's on top of Section 4, undefeated, as is Lara Butler, the Western Australian representing Switzerland. You might know her as Lara Mertz. She's an absolute star, semi-finalist at the Australian Open in the singles and won the Australian Open fours with Olivia Cartwright, Caitlin Inch and Chloe Stewart. Taylor Bruce, also in 3rd, undefeated. World Champion of Champions winner last year. Nurul Aliani Jamil from Malaysia in 4th, 2 wins and a loss. But the thing is, and she's a superstar in world singles play, Lara Butler beat her yesterday, Baz.
Yeah,
that is a huge win.
Lara's a highly credentialed player, played a lot of bowls, Western Australia representative, and yeah, these conditions aren't too far from what she plays on in Perth. So Ellen Ryan now 4th bowl over to the forehand. So turning her shot, or her second shot bowl up onto the jack. This hand is traditionally the narrower side here in the east-west direction at Helensvale. As we see, the angle of that bowl is not quite as sharp as the south side, so just missing high. That's probably good for Ellen, though, just to get a feel for that hand. She might have to play there again. There's a couple of things you want to try and achieve early on, especially in your roll-up or early in the game of bowls. Experience both hands and experience all lengths. And
Really impressed with how Kumari has continued to fight. She's continued to work at it. And rhythm is everything. I think we spoke about this at the indoors, Baz. She's stuck to her rhythm, hasn't gotten too panicked. And she's won multiple ends in a row. Yes, it's singles, but you just got to keep winning ends. If you keep winning ends, you can win in singles. So it's 21 up. You can't count down the ends. Only thing is in sectional play, there's a time limit.
And there could have been other contributing factors to her performance the first couple of ends, just in terms of maybe playing it on a surface for the first time, or just any butterflies, any nerves, playing big name player, all that kind of stuff. So you don't know, but it's great to see her settling now and sticking to what she knows. Forehand in this direction, she nailed it last time. Played a cracker shot to nudge Alan Ryan's bowl off the jack and sit in for shots. So it's just a matter of sticking to what you know, like you say, get that rhythm and timing going, and get that belief to its highest possible level.
She's going to work to a good home here, Kumari. About 1.5 meters behind the jack, but Merv Ford commenting, and we know Merv is the best floor manager in the game. Guys, Kumari lives in Melbourne, married with 2 kids, played at Richmond Union. You played with her, Baz, and husband Sam plays at Middle Park. Middle Park, of course, one of the most popular down in Melbourne, as Alan Ryan right on top of the jack to start the morning.
Yeah, it was good getting to know Kumari last season at Richmond Union, flying down there as a marquee player. The Tigers, very, very good club, great facilities, and looking forward to getting back there this summer. Kumari switching to the backhand. Just needs to get down. Not bad. Those flags, so it didn't take too long. We're about half an hour in. Those flags just getting up now. Not quite gusting, but the breeze is definitely lifted. They'll play a little bit of part in the player's performance early on. Alan Ryan switching over to the backhand. So you might hear me say the word framed. Some people are like, I'm not sure, Barry, what you mean by that. So that head went from a single target to a wider target, and generally if you're framing something, you're putting something around it. So what that just means is, or boxing it, just means that you're setting up a wider target. So Alan Ryan went from a 1-bowl target for her opposition to now turning that into a 2.5 bowl target. So it gives the opposition a bit more confidence to play weight into it. And Kumari here, she's just trying to get to that split.
Almost did. Not a bad effort at all from Kumari Mangos. She's cut it down to 1.
And players don't do it on purpose. Your main objective is to get close and outnumber your opposition, but at the same time, you just hope and pray that you don't make it easier for your opposition. But in that case, Alan did it slightly, and Kumari made the most of that opportunity, but still finds herself 1 down, but has that bowl over there at 3 o'clock to work off or land her own bowl through the shot bowl. So Alan Ryan, if she can slide past, it'll have a bit of value there, so that's handy. Good to see Kumari walk down. And what this does, it just breeds confidence within yourself. So when you look at the head here versus looking at the mats, it takes a lot of the guesswork out. So when you're standing at the mat looking down at a target 26 metres away, it's too much guesswork, and you're thinking, should I, shouldn't I? And then you can probably end up playing a nothing bowl. But when you walk down to the head like Kumari has, you see what you want to achieve, which is get the shot somehow. You look at the positives and the negatives, and then you sign off on what you want to play and go back and do that. And one of the most common questions I get asked is, why do some of these players we see on live streaming or TV, are they so quick on the mat? Because there's so much preparation gone into their shot selection pre-mat.
Yeah. Well, exactly, because sometimes they're standing at the head, and Disco is probably the biggest exponent of that. He does not spend, I reckon, half a second on the mat. He knows exactly what he's going to do.
Looking for the jack off that wide bowl. Kumari.
Got it.
Well,
did she get enough? That's the question. So,
I think so. I think she's holding 1. She's played that really well.
That is brilliant.
Yeah, you're right, Val. So players are like, oh, Barry, people out there, why are they so quick on the mat? Well, it's similar to a golfer or a tennis player, so many sports. If all the pre-thought and shot selection's gone in well and truly before the mat, it's just a matter of getting to the mat and executing. You don't see golfers stand over a golf ball and wonder what they're going to do with the golf ball. It's all pre-done. So there's a tip for you. Definitely get everything done and organised well and truly pre-mat. And then when you get to the mat,
you know exactly where you're going. You don't have to spend too much time thinking about it. And you look at, well, we'll talk a bit more about it after Ellen sends this one down. She's not far away, but she's going to... she's got the result there.
She sure has. Chipped that in behind the jack, so...
Not sure that's what she was going for, but she's got it, and she will take the shot back for the first time in a few ends.
There's a famous saying in bowls that's used quite a lot, Val.
Yes.
She was in the area.
Exactly right.
It's one that's used to probably just cover up a little bit of luck, and we all use it. And Ellen, to her credit, great weight, probably a bowl and a half higher than what she was after, but that's the key to winning these games. Always, the great players don't miss by much, and if you're not missing by much, you're always looking to get a result.
And just a quick question, Doug Tate. So for those who don't know, when can a player go down to the head, Baz?
Yeah, in the singles, they can go down after their third delivery.
Yes.
And at this level, still, they can ask to visit or look at the head after their second. They just have to ask the marker for permission.
Yep.
And that was a rule that was probably brought in 10, 15 years ago, which I really like, because there's just moments in a match where, you can't achieve or dictate what you want to do when the head's quite blind. And to be able to ask the marker, especially in a certain moment of the match, if you can come down and have a look, and that's what the players can do. And some players really make the most of that, and then some players choose to, even at club level, state level, Australian Opens, have a nominated coach, RINKSIDE, and then you have just another set of eyes and ears while you're out there playing. And I recommend that. I think it's a great thing to have if you're got the ability to have a coach RINKSIDE while you're playing. And
why not?
Yeah, they might see things that you don't, and if you're working together on certain things in training, it's great to have someone.
Yep, and I think it's something that sport needs to adapt with, and I think tennis is doing it now, where they're allowing coaching from beside the court. And in singles, I've never understood why they don't allow it. That is sensational from Alan Ryan. Got the weight perfect.
It's like a yo-yo, that backhand for Alan Ryan right now.
Yeah, and I've never understood it, because when it's singles, it's just you in a team sport. You're going to get coached. It happens in every other sport, and yet for some reason in tennis you can't. It's just how you problem solve, which ultimately that's what it's down to. If you can, you've got to execute it.
Well, the sport of tennis contradicts itself. So they do it when it comes to the Ryder Cup. They have a coach sidelines, but they can't do it at a Wimbledon singles final. I don't get it.
That is nice from...
Great shot, Kumari.
Kumari, she's opened things up a little bit. Doesn't have the shot, but she can work with that now. Brilliantly done by the Sri Lankan.
Yeah, so there's no continuity there for me. Why have a coach on the sidelines in tennis for the Davis Cup, for instance, but not for a singles game at a major?
Exactly, and the Laver Cup is another exponent of that as well now. Trav Nortier, unfortunately we can't see any of the scoreboards. Next to us, I think Cyprus is leading Spain 8-2. That's all I can see from right in front of me, but you can go to world2023.bowls.com.au or download the Bowls Now app, and you can get onto the live scoring, and it's all there for you, because this is a wonderful tournament, and you can catch up with your favourite players and what's happening around the rinks and around the greens and clubs. It's on the Gold Coast, the 5 clubs.
Kumari trying to draw this now. Not far away.
Not far at all. Has she got enough? I reckon she has here, Baz.
Well, if that falls, I think it needs to fall.
Sitting on the precipice of falling. But she's lifted here, has Kumari Mangos, and I think probably would have been a bit shell-shocked, and I don't blame her earlier when Alan Ryan raced off to a 10-0 lead, but she's really fought back hard. She's continued to be in the area.
Yeah, 1 blue it is, our marker indicating 1 blue, and she's alternating too. So the thing with Kumari, she's alternating and still getting her rhythm up. So last end, a couple of forehand, couple of backhand. This end, same thing, forehand, backhand, forehand. So that's credit to her to be able to alternate hands and still lift her game at the same time. But nice head formed for Alan Ryan here. Just needs to sit the shot bowl, tuck the jack around the corner, even promote her front one.
Alan Ryan, she's not very far away here, but she's going to slide through. So Kumari Mangos Opportunity here to score her first multiple of the match. Here we go. What can
Backhand it
she
is.
conjure up?
Touch it down the line works well too. If she can sort of back cut the jack down the line,
Oh, yeah.
can make 3.
Tell you what, Baz, she's not far away.
She's having a crack here.
Needs it to get down. It might just slide under, or will it stop?
Played it well.
Kumari Mangos, that is the shot.
That's the boss.
And that is going to be 2. She gives us a little wry smile.
Yeah, she's happy with that.
That is brilliant.
And that's the thing, releasing that nervous energy. It's very well known. Most athletes, sports people, if they're feeling a bit nervous, they'll shut things out. They'll turn off everything off around them, and they'll shut up and won't speak and so on. You can see her now talking more, laughing, feeling more relaxed. And
She's having a good time out there. And look, she's won 3 of the last 4 ends here, Baz. She's playing well.
versus the first 3 or 4 ends where she was muted, quiet, showing no body language. Now she's just going, you know what? This is where I want to be. I'm going to go out and have some fun now and laugh and smile and just relax with it. And now she's getting the reward with her bowls.
Yep, Nate Zeno bowling Kumari. Here we go. She's bowling out of Altona now, down in Melbourne's west, right near the beach there. Great cafes on Pier Street. And, of course, right near Cherry Lake. What a wonderful place.
Yeah, Altona Bowls Club, home of the great man, Dane McKinnon.
You just great manned him.
I did. He does get a great man, Dane McKinnon. He just got Player of the Series in the New South Wales Victoria Series. Loves his bowls. Working full-time at the Altona Bowls Club now.
Speaking of Altona Bowls Club, one of their finest players right here, Kumari Mangos, right on top of the jack. She is playing brilliantly at the moment. Great to see also on the stream here, Fiona Hall watching on as well. She's had a very difficult week, working at Mudgee Bar. She's done a wonderful job getting that club ready for the World Bowls Championships, and she's had a bit of a health scare this week. But Fiona, we're so glad you're okay, and we hope that everything does continue to go okay in hospital. And yeah, we're glad to see you watching, and all of our love and best wishes are with you. You're an absolute superstar and should be so proud of what you've done at Mudgee Bar. We can't wait to see it in action tomorrow. That's where we're going to be.
Yeah, Kumari's not only drawn a front toucher with her first bowl, but she's done it on Alan's favoured hand so far. So that's the hand Alan's played the majority of her bowls on. So, and the fact that she's finished front of the jack just plays into Alan's eye a little bit, but Alan just wants to try and shift that shot bowl off the jack. Well, it's a good effort. So you can see that turn. Just as it's coming past the head there, it's becoming slightly sharper. So the angle's a bit higher. That's just because the green's losing all of its moisture at the moment. It's starting to free up. The warmth is really hitting the green. And so that's just creating a larger turn. So you can see Kumari out there on a higher line than she's been so far. But you watch this, it'll just turn sharp late. Here it comes. And that's that green drying out now. And she's really finding her rhythm.
Found it. Now, this is 2 at the moment for Kumari. Good to see Colin Bray watching on as well. And Merv, husband Sam, sitting by himself behind the head.
Not far away here, Alan Ryan.
No, not at all.
Needs to flop off that back one of Kumari's. Well, she's just halved away.
Did, but I reckon she might have trimmed this count, maybe. No, it's still 2.
Look at that, Kumari just having a little bit of a walk down. She's good body language, good rink management. Just going down, making sure she knows she's right across all the angles. I'm pretty sure she's probably thinking, knowing what Alan Ryan's capable of with weight, I need to probably get a back bowl in here. 3 down at the back.
So if she can win another end here, the momentum will well and truly be with her. She's won 3 of the last 4. Alan Ryan rocketed out to a 10-0 lead, but Kumari, she understands Australian conditions. She bowls here, she lives here.
Yeah, on a high line again. It's looking good. I'll tell you what, she's drawn another one here, Kumari. I don't think she's widened it. I don't think she has. Well, she has. left a little bit of a gap.
Yep.
I think that could be 3.
I reckon it is. Yep, our marker holds up those 3 blue paddles, and all of a sudden, if Ellen Ryan can't do anything about this count, well, she's within an end of tying things up, Kumari Mangos, but we know the quality that Ellen Ryan possesses, and this is the first time she's really been challenged in this contest. And 11-4 looks a lot better than 11-7, which is what it could be if Ellen Ryan can't do anything here.
Ellen Ryan might play large weight at this. She's already 3 down. She knows that even if she plays a really good bowl, she could still be 3 down. But big weight, looking for the shot bowl through the jack. She's got all the back stuff. She's done it. Ellen Ryan.
Got it. And I tell you what, she's got the tee. So this could very well be from 3 down to, well, that's at least 2 up. Is it 3 up?
Yeah, Kumari had to go to the back with her last.
This could very well be 3 up for Ellen Ryan.
That's the skill of Ellen Ryan. Single bowl target. Here we go.
Watch
Shot
this.
bowl through the jack. 3 back bowls waiting.
Bang.
Just accidentally took one of her own out, but staring down the barrel of nearly a 3 here.
Yep, I think it's a 2 definitely. 1 kicked out. They might measure for the rest.
And Val, that's all about knowing what your opposition's capabilities are. Ellen Ryan, one of the best strikers in the game.
Yep, and well, her striking ability won her a gold medal at the Commonwealth Games last year. 1 bowl target.
So
That's a 3 to Ellen Ryan. 3 down to 3 up. That is as monumental as it gets.
6-shot turnaround's huge. They're the ones you remember in your debrief after the game.
From 11-7, it's now on a live score. It's now 14-4, Baz. That is why she is at the top of her game at the moment, Ellen Ryan.
Yeah, and that's the armory she has. So that's the thing about being a champion bowler, working on all the components of the game. Forehand, backhand, long, short, drive, draw. So Ellen there said, all right, okay, I haven't quite nailed it on the draw. Yes, she was 3 down. There was a bit of room to draw a second shot, and the percentages were there to do that. But you've got to still play what works for you. So Ellen was very confident hitting that. In all her training and all her preparation, she would be hitting targets like that. And within herself, she said, well, I'm very confident I can hit this, and I've got 3 back bowls. Kumari, part of the experience that she's going through at this World Championship, being able to watch back on this game, debrief and say, wait a minute, perhaps I needed to get to the back there, take the 3 and run, and force Ellen onto the draw.
And Kumari, I think, would be still pretty positive after that end because she put her bowls in the area. She was in control of it. It took something special from Ellen to wrestle those shots away from her. So by no means is she out of it, but it's a bit of a body blow because Ellen Ryan has really pulled that out. The momentum was well and truly with the Sri Lankan. Sarah Beer just asking why is Section 3 the only section without live scores. Unfortunately, we're not too sure. Might be just a technical issue. We do apologise. The next 2 matches of the day that we're going to be broadcasting, Baz, it's going to be men's pairs action. And it's the Jackaroos. Where are we here? We've got Jersey against Tees and Wilson, Boswell and D'Souza. And then after that, Salmon and Breen against Tees and Wilson. That'll round out Day 2's play here on Rinkside Live at Club Helensvale. Aaron Wilson, the 2016 men's pairs champion with Brett Wilkie. Aaron Tees on tournament debut.
Yeah, so Kumari's hit her line back-to-back there, so that's a big confidence booster. Ellen just looking for one in the middle here, something between her first 2 deliveries.
Might just slide underneath. It's what she was going for, Baz.
Yeah, that's right. Just trying to find the exact weight. And even though she's holding 3, marker indicating it's 3, she still won't be happy the fact she hasn't nailed it. But sometimes that's the grind. You've just got to chip away and hope that big one's around the corner. But Kumari, knowing that she's nailed her line the last 2 deliveries, she's got to find that weight as well. She's looking good here. She's played it. Well, that's the shot. And hidden.
As you would say, that's the boss.
Yep.
Brilliantly done from Kumari Mangos. She has lifted to a really high standard and making Alan Ryan work for everything. There's a reason that Kumari is on top of the group at the moment. 2 massive wins over the Falkland Islands and Philippines yesterday, plus 33 in her shot difference. She lives down in Melbourne, plays in these conditions a lot. Husband Sam watching behind the green. Turns out he's who I was having a chat to before, not one of the Sri Lankan high performance members.
Alan Ryan, forehand here, looking for weight again. Just to turn her shot bowl or her nearest bowls up into the head. And you just see the angle of this bowl as it comes down to the jack. Not quite as sharp as the other side. So, tough shot. But that's the front end pressure that Kumari's creating.
So he actually is, Baz, part of the high performance staff. So
yeah, and
travelling with the Sri Lankan team, Sam Mangos.
You see that a lot with a lot of the overseas countries. You'll see husband, wife, or a really good setup there from players and their families supporting one another. Kumari, she couldn't draw another, could she? Just sliding through. What an amazing effort.
Has it stopped in time? Maybe. We'll see if she's put in a second here. That is a mighty effort.
Yeah, to be 3 down at one stage and now it could be 2 up. Or
pretty much rectifying what happened in the last end from Alan Ryan.
Could be 2 out here, Val.
I reckon
That's
it is.
Big pickup.
Let's see. Are we going to have a measure? That's 1 taken out. Now they're going to check. Alan, I reckons this is 1.
Just loving the rink management by both players here. Just one
what
it is.
We got just the 1.
Just the way I'm loving the fact that Alan's having a chat with Kaz. A couple of loose deliveries by her standards on the previous end, and I just love that maturity Alan Ryan's showing. We speak about what she's achieved in the sport already, but she's on a mission to move forward and see what else can come with that. Trains hard, commits well, great person on and off the green, and just loving the way she's managing herself, Alan. Very mature player. And I was watching her body language yesterday back at Broadbeach, and she looks right at home.
Yep.
In terms of not only right at home being the
sponsor of the Jackaroos,
but right at home with her bowls, with her body presence. She's where she wants to be, representing Australia, playing singles. That breakout Australian Open singles win that she had those years ago at Broadbeach at such a young age, really hasn't looked back since. The flags are still moving around. They're shifting a little bit direction, so players will be just monitoring that, combating that. But as we see, Kumari and Alan still favouring the south side of this particular rink here at Club Helensvale.
Sarah Beer, why about the Section 3 scores? They should be up and running now. Yep, you've just commented that, so they're all good to go. And Merv, yep, just alluded to, he's one of the Sri Lankan coaches. Great to see. Fiona, I'm not sure, haven't heard that the Kenyans have arrived yet. I do know that they were stuck in Nairobi a day before the tournament started, so it's...
Can you find out for us, Val?
Oh, no.
Okay, Kumari just falling a yard short.
9:24 in the morning. We'll mark that down as when we've gone loopy.
Another good line. Yeah, I wasn't sure if she had enough legs on that, just falling a yard short, but both players really getting their line well. Just pulling up short there, Alan. But she'll be confident that that's the right line. Just needs to put a couple of rotations on that.
The right line, of course, Bowls Australia's official podcast. You can download that and subscribe wherever you get your podcast from.
So Kumari Mangus, well, little reset. No, I'm not really confident I can get down there in the forehand, so a little switch over. Backhand it is. She has about 4 feet of room to add here. Just slide on past her front bowl. Just needs a clear run now. Passes the front. Well, it's paid off the backhand switch. And that counts, and that's the boss. So 2 shots. Alan Ryan on a perfect line with her last delivery. She can find a yard of weight. Draw a knocker. Try and shut this down.
Good to see Chloe Morrison watching as well. Good morning to you, Chloe, one of our emerging jackaroos. Has Alan Ryan got enough on this, Baz?
She's got enough weight.
Yeah.
She's got enough weight, but I don't think she's got the shot. Her weight's good enough to score.
Almost at jack high there, Alan. Now, Kumari.
Looks good.
Yeah, she does.
Rotating well. Just needs to turn in now. I think that's enough for a counter.
Needs it to stop. I reckon it might have done enough.
Yeah, I think
it's fallen too.
So 3 good shots. So
now this is really, really interesting.
Yes, Alan Ryan now, it's all about just that weight again. So, okay, she wants to pick the right line, but if she just feels that same weight, because her last weight was perfect, front touch of weight, just make a minor correction on the line. Just feel that same weight, back through the routine. Okay, let's go. Let's find out. Alan Ryan, forehand, 3 down, looking for the shot.
Can she do it again to this end?
She needs to slow down or get the jack.
Just missed. So all of a sudden, Kumari Mangos is making her move. Alan has the tape out. And we're going to have a little measure here.
So it's about small wins now. So can Kumari try and pick a number, try and get to 18 before Alan or 19 before Alan. Give yourself little targets, or get to 10 before Alan gets to 15. Set little goals, set little targets, and make sure you're doing what works for you along the way. Not throwing wrong lengths or switching hands too much. Just focusing on your rhythm and your timing, controlling what you can control. What Alan does and what the conditions do will be what it will be.
Yep. 14-8 now the score. She's narrowed it to 6 after losing the first 5 ends and going down 10-0. She's won 5 of the last 7 ends here, Kumari Mangos, and is storming back into this contest. Now, there's a bit of commenting going here between Chloe Morrison and Barbara Green. Apparently something's gone over my head here, Baz. I have absolutely no idea what's going on, and now I'm getting sledged for being a Richmond supporter. So this is getting dirty, Chloe. This is not fair. I have no idea where this is going.
Oh, mate, we all know who's going to win the flag. That's the Melbourne Demons, so we should probably focus on that anyway.
Mary Leslie saying good morning from a cold Melbourne. I have heard that there was a bit of a downpour down there this morning.
So Kumari, she's thrown a long jack and put one inside 18 inches. Can Alan Ryan reply? Oh, that is stiff. Perfect weight, especially with your first bowl. If you're not achieving shot, just get it in behind. Try and sit the jack there or work off the bowl and just finding the hole. Kumari Mangus here. 34-metre length. Backhand, looking to repeat the dose. That'll do for 2. So that's 2 bowls inside a foot over 33 metres.
This is getting really interesting now, Baz.
Yeah, I'm very confident Alan can change the way this head's set up. So close with her previous delivery, and here we go. Jack. Well, it's just shaving the jack. So these are the little things in the game of bowls. So 1 inch wider, Alan Ryan gets the jack down the line for a really good 2, and those 2 bowls of Kumari's are out of the game. But you've just got to be patient, stick to your guns, know how good you are, how good you're playing, and stay in that positive mindset. And Kumari, well, she knows that Alan's only 1 good bowl away from making a number here. She needs to try and get something in behind. Well, she doesn't want to halve the jack herself, or she has. That's given Alan Ryan more room.
It has, and that end, Alan, or the last end, she couldn't rectify that 3 down, and all of a sudden, this has just made things really interesting. Alan was rampant early, but Kumari has made this a contest. However, you're right, Baz, she does look very good here. She needs to get back on the scoreboard, Alan Ryan. And that's
just that bit of extra room that Kumari unfortunately gave Alan when she shaved that jack.
I've been so impressed with what Kumari Mangos has put forth this morning at Helensvale. She has been mighty, and she could have easily let this one go and said, okay, might not be winning it, but she has made this a contest. It may be 14-8, but it feels closer than that, doesn't it, Baz?
Yeah, Kumari's just got to try and feel the same weight as her first two deliveries here. Just add that extra angle. And this, if she can reply here, that really would make Ellen Ryan think that it's game on.
Barry Lester.
She's trying hard.
She's close.
Needs to stay.
Just darted away right at the end.
Yeah, you can see that angle is so much higher now to get back to the centre line. And it's a much sharper turn. That's got a little bit to do with the wind, but mainly the green now. It's drying out. And the surface temperature changes, and usually the green just quickens up a touch and the line gets wider.
Good to have everybody's company this morning. Greg Pratt watching from Terralgan. Jay Beadle saying this is the best stream game so far already. Brendan Elliott saying good morning to the both of us. Narita, terrific game. And Albie Chapman, hi from a rainy Ballarat. I can imagine how cold it'd be down there right now.
Yeah, big bowls community in Ballarat.
And Jerry Knott watching from California in the USA. Good evening to you.
A lot of composure here from Ellen Ryan. Really took her time on that one. And can she get the reward?
Is it a second? Just drifts past, but she'll take it. And I dare say, Baz, she'll be changing the length here.
Yeah, it's be interesting. I'm sensing there might be something extreme. Maybe put the jack around the tee, find a new feel. So I spoke about a cold spot and a hot spot earlier. Sometimes it's not you. It's just you're not feeling the certain position the jack's in. So just trying to change something up and see Ellen Ryan there. Matt right up the green, so almost to the minimum marker. We're going to see the jack near the tee here, and that's might be just what she needs. Nine times out of 10, the jack, when it's around the 6 foot mark, it's a sharper turn, it's a more worn area, especially in the modern day play. So there's more wear and tear around on bowling greens these days than there's ever been before. Clubs are combating barefoot bowls, social bowls, and more bowlers are standing on greens than they have ever before. And so the majority of bowling greens out there would be worn and a little bit firmer around the sort of tee to 10 foot up from the tee marker, and that's just common sense. And Ellen Ryan's just looking for maybe a little bit more run in her green, in her bowl, and there we go. So just a bit of extension to that, Val. So 20 or 30 years ago, you were told to stand on the bank or sit down.
Yep.
Almost every team game you'll see at any level anywhere in the world now, or especially in Australia, players will be standing on the green. So that equals more wear and tear on the green.
It does.
And probably a tip for clubs out there, try and reduce that as much as you can, especially with your week-to-week bowls. Make sure people can just stand off the green a little bit more, just to try and even that wear out. And it's something that's creeped into the game, and I know greenkeepers are trying to combat it to the best they can, but these greens are the best in the world. Helensvale, always been phenomenal.
Yep. We were here on Monday for the opening ceremony, and everything looked fantastic, and they still look fantastic.
Yeah, so just that new jack position, you can see Alan just put him in behind there. Two lovely shots. And you'll see the bowl just run on slightly.
So Ellen would love to get a multiple and get herself into this checkout zone where she'll be within an end of victory. It's always that 17. Once you get there, you get a bit more of a mental edge.
It's a nice correction from Kumari.
Has it done enough? It's true. It has fallen, though.
Did you notice how it just ran on slightly there, Val? Yep. So that's just where the jack position is. Just a little bit more harder to play exact bowls.
So I think that's done enough to cut it down to 1. Ellen's going to try and put in a second here. She is not far away. Jogs in behind it, hoping that it gets there. Don't think it has. It's fallen out as well.
Not sure if that one's in. It's close.
Still 1, indicated by our marker.
So 1 and a measure. Kumari needs to take about a foot off here. Same line, though. So you've got to be grabbing those positives. Hit that line, feel the weight. Hit the line, feel the weight.
So we just had a question about the about the bowls, the red and blue bowls. So that's an initiative by World Bowls, and the Commonwealth Games does it as well. Every team brings a set of red and blue bowls, and then the team listed first will be red. Team listed second will be blue. It's just to make it easier for markers, for broadcasters like us, and for the teams to decipher who actually has shot. And when it's an international teams event, makes a lot of sense because everybody has the same colour. Great initiative.
Alan Ryan, forehand. Tuck the jack in would be really good. Not far away. Just needs to get down now. You see this late sharp turn.
Oh, yeah.
Come right in.
That's the boss, Baz.
Yeah, so that's perfect. Kumari now finds herself. Well, for me, I know we're side on. I think it's definitely 2.
Yeah, it's 2 for sure. I think that
Maybe
bowl
3.
from the back bowl from Kumari Mangos, I think he's sitting in there in third at the moment.
Well, that's protected. So as you can see, Alan Ryan's last bowl protects Kumari's nearest. So playing weight, she's got the confidence to not take her own bowl out here. Does she draw to save or play some form of weight through the head? We'll soon find out. So Kumari Mangas from Sri Lanka, forehand, needs a yard of weight on her last bowl, or does she play some form of weight controlled shot? She's going to fall short. She'll be disappointed with that one. Bit of a stomp of the foot. So missed opportunity there from Kumari. Probably in 2 minds. Probably one of those ones where do I try and dead draw it or do I try and arrive? And in the end, probably played a in-between shot.
So, Alan Ryan now on the verge of the checkout zone and on the verge of being within an end of victory here. 1 and 2 taken out. There's going to be a measure for a third, I believe. But I reckon Kumari has done enough, as you can see, just the position of those bowls right now and where things sit. Jeff Harding watching from Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, supporting Kumari Mangos, and love your coaching, Sam Mangos. So, Ellen measuring, she wants a third here, and I don't blame her, but I don't reckon she's going to be getting it. I think Kumari might just be in here.
2 it is.
Yep.
And millimetres in it.
It was a lot closer than I thought it was. Nonetheless, Alan Ryan wins multiple ends for the first time since end 4 and 5 and moves out to a 17-8 victory. She is in that checkout zone now within an end of victory. Very close to moving to her third win of the World Bowls Championships in 2023. Her maiden tournament. And she started it like a house on fire.
Yeah, really good to see Alan back it up with the same mat length or mat position and jack length. Just trying to strangle back the timing and routine she had early on in this match. Just trying to show Kumari that she's confident on doing what she needs to do. Taking a lot of green out of play. So where the mat is positioned now is probably about 10 metres up from the tee, and there's so much bowling green behind the mat. And what a great start. As I mentioned earlier, that backhand for Ellen, she's been rock solid on it all day. And the only time she really hasn't been able to be rock solid on it is because Kumari was
all over it.
All over it, that's right. So sometimes that's just how the game goes.
David and Heather asking what brand of bowls are being used in this game, both using Henselite XGs, Streamline XGs.
Nice reply, Kumari.
Kumari, sensational bowl. And Pete, I think, it might be for the smaller countries, but, I think for viewing, most people have agreed that it has worked. It does make it easier to follow. And the bowls manufacturers have been helping as well, so it does take the cost away. And the bowls manufacturers, we'd had this discussion yesterday, Baz, about how supportive they've been to the bowlers and the organisations that are coming to the World Bowls championships.
Yeah, that's right, and full credit to the manufacturers. The price of bowls these days, I can only remember what they cost 25 years ago when I started playing. They haven't really moved, the cost of a set of bowls, so it's pretty impressive when you're paying $2.40 for a litre of fuel at the moment, and so many things in life are going up, and a set of bowls is still the same price as they were 20 years ago. So kudos to all the manufacturers, not only doing that for the sport and the players, but also, like I said yesterday, supporting the athletes and supporting the countries with their equipment. Just missing under and shaving the jack, Alan Ryan. And if you're in the area, head down to Broadbeach. Massive marquee there full of all the goods that you're looking for in terms of bowls, equipment. I paid $2.41 for fuel the other day. I was too scared to actually go and pay for it.
It's ridiculous, isn't it, how expensive it is? I think we got back from, I don't know where, I think got back from the AO and went to fill up my car and looked at the price and was like, hang on, that must be a typo.
Yeah, you are playing that game at the moment, just trying to dodge where it's most expensive. But
the old 7-Eleven fuel lock.
Yeah, so start learning how to siphon, I think.
We're not encouraging that on Rinkside Live. We must admit that.
Yeah, it just came out of nowhere. I couldn't believe it. You're paying $1.70 only a couple of months ago, and next minute, $2.49 in Brisbane the other day.
Wow.
Alan Ryan, with weight, bowl through bowl or half bowl and jack. She's played it.
It's Alan Ryan.
That's a cracker.
Brilliantly done. Wrestles shot back. Went through with it as well. Positioned the bowl perfectly down the green. Have a look at the replay.
Yeah, it was weight control for me. Just arriving. This weight has the ability to stay around. If she plays that any quicker, her bowl runs away from the head. But just to be able to lock and stay. And there she is, jack high.
All right. What can Kumari reply with? Down one.
Yeah, backhand. Looking for bowl clean for 2 or jack down the line. Something similar to her first bowl, really, when Alan Ryan had a close jack high bowl. Backhand with weight.
A lot of people that have watched Kumari Mangos this morning.
Close here, Val.
Yep.
Needs to clear the front. What's she got? She's got the bowl. She's going to go with it? No.
Oh, that was mightily close. What an effort from Kumari Mangos.
Well, the jack somehow sprung through the hole. She might be only one down, but what an effort. Kumari Mangos from Sri Lanka, 1 down to almost 2 up if the jack had have trapped. Now, Alan Ryan, have a good look at this.
So, geez, it was close from Kumari. It was a great effort, but what has she conceded here? That's the question. Barbara Green commenting here. So true, Barry. The box my Henselite Alphas came in at marked as 619, but my bowls are at least 20 years old. So,
I've been playing for 27 years, and as I said, to all the manufacturers, not just with their bowls, but their footwear, the bowls bags. When you look at so many things in life that are going through the roof, the prices of fruit and veg, whatever, hats off to all the manufacturers. The way inflation has been, you would expect nearly a set of bowls to be $1,000, but no, well done. And not only will I give all the manufacturers a shout out for that, but the other thing is they support clubs as well.
They do.
So many manufacturers you see, they'll be putting up a set of bowls or a voucher or something for a tournament or a raffle, and it all goes a long way. So,
the superstar that is Olivia Bloomfield, or Buckingham as she's known, try living in New Zealand. Petrol, $3.10.
Yeah, that's sorry to hear. Yeah, I guess that makes us feel like we're doing her all right. But
yeah.
So Kumari, she's left the chalk on that. It's just it's just an oversight, but some people may say it's a bit of overconfidence that she's going to get another chalker. But As you can see, the ITO marker there just moving in to try and remove that chalk, just so that later on in the end it's not mistaken for a touch-up. So that ideally the chalk should be removed before the bowl's released. And both players have been mindful of that. That's okay.
No, it has... they are absolutely fantastic, the manufacturers, as you said, Baz. And, yeah, and we do extend our thoughts to those who are doing it tough with the cost of living and everything that has increased in recent times. But back to the bowls. Ellen Ryan holding a couple here. She scored a 1 in the last end and is on her way. As this one's just... Is it going to stop? It is.
Yeah, holding 2, Ellen Ryan.
And just a shout-out to Olivia Bloomfield, who's now here at Helensvale, has made the move over from New Zealand and winner of the 2022 Australian Open women's pairs with Paris Baker. What a story that was. What a wonderful character of the sport she is. As Ellen Ryan wants it to pull up, it won't.
Yeah, not a bad home because I think Kumari's on a bit of a charge for the jack here. So,
but is Ellen closer? Has she got 3?
Not quite.
Just gone too far.
But Kumari needs to at least achieve second here. As we see, short end, Green's just freeing up a touch. Bowl's running through around the tee. She needs to pull up. Or can she get the bowl? Well,
has she?
And the jack. So that's enough for 1.
Yep. Kumari Mangos, brilliantly done. Now, does Ellen Ryan, what does she do here? Does she go for the bowl, hold game? Or does she just try and... What would you be doing in this situation?
She's just looking at both the options. So if the bowl leaves the rink, how many has she got? And looking at the jack option. The jack... If the jack was to be moved over to about 3 or 4 o'clock, she would make 2. But if the bowl goes clean, I believe she would hold 2. It comes back down. This all comes back down to, yes, the percentages, but what you're comfortable with. And that's what happens in many team events. Someone might say, can you look to take this bowl out in your forehand? If it can be taken out forehand and backhand and you favour a certain way of doing it, you've got to play to your strengths. And that's so important in team environments, but especially in singles. We saw Ellen Ryan earlier just drive into the shot bowl, jack back for 3 when she was 3 down, a huge moment in this match. The confidence that comes from that might lie there again, just to rip this bowl out clean. And that's exactly what she's doing. Forehand, big weight, looking for bowl or jack, and she's got the bowl clean. She's got both bowls.
Got both. Holding game. Ellen Ryan holding game.
Wow.
Every bowl of Kumari Mangos is gone. She got rid of them both.
So inside of the shot bowl, and then there's a bowl over there at 4 o'clock. She's gone Kumari's nearest bowl and her second on the way out, and all of a sudden holding game.
So Ellen Ryan, that is monumental. And I alluded to it, that it was there, the single bowl target.
Oh, she got all 3.
All of them. Every single one of Kumari Mangos' bowls gone.
Now, I'm going to have a little chat to Ellen at some stage today and ask if that was all nominated, all 3. If she says yes, well, she is an absolute freak then.
She is a freak either way. So Kumari Mangos, rinse and repeat from her last. Can she score a shot? Needs it to slow. Needs it to slow down. Has it gone too far? I believe it has.
Well,
but I reckon this is game to Ellen Ryan.
Bit
Kumari,
of a smirk.
Nah, she knows. She knows, Ellen Ryan. What a shot to win it to.
Yeah,
and they shake hands. Ellen Ryan, she goes 3 and zip at the World Bowls Championships in 2023. A big win there. Kumari Mangos played a sensational match, I must say. 21-8, the scoreline. Probably could have been a little bit closer with some of the bowls that she played. She was magnificent herself, and we'll look forward to seeing her progress throughout the tournament. Ellen Ryan, what a way to win it, though. A drive removed every single one of Kumari Mangos' bowls to win, Baz. Sensational.
Yeah, I know, man. Just to our right, I'll be frothing over that shot. That's going to make a social media Instagram reel, no doubt.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt. No, what a great shot. And as we see it again, down 1 on the head. She actually takes the shot bowl out, and then Kumari's other one, and then the back one near
She took all three with one bowl.
Yeah, so it would have been nominated, no doubt. But even if it wasn't, you got to take that. Bit of reward for effort, Alan Ryan. It was a bit of a grind through the middle stages of that match. Kumari was really trying to, force Alan into playing some difficult shots, and Alan stood up there, played the big one when it mattered. But as you'll see there, Alan Ryan played a big drive early in the match, which was backhand, to make it 3 from being 3 down, and then she just switches to the forehand with big weight, then takes the shot bowl out and makes a 3 and wins the game. So that versatility, I spoke about the armour she has, that's what's going to put her in good stem moving forward in her career. The fact she's so versatile, and that's why she's got that big role in playing the singles for Australia.
Exactly right. Massive confidence boost for Alan Ryan. Thank you very much, Baz.
Yeah, good on you, Val. Good job, mate.
See you very soon for the match between Australia and Jersey in the men's pairs. Tees and Wilson will be in action for the first time on Rinkside Live, and we look forward to that very much. It's been Alan Ryan. She won the first 5 ends to race out to a 10-0 lead. Kumari Mangos brought it back to 14-8 in the middle part of the match, but the last 4 ends go the way of the Australian in Alan Ryan, who finishes it with a peach to take a 21-8 victory over the Sri Lankan. It's been Val Febo and Barry Lester. We thank you very much for your company. Tune in just over an hour and 20 minutes time for the second session. Men's pairs is what we're going to be bringing you, and we'll catch you then.